Alright, so we're gonna be starting some new videos on astroneer. So in this game, if you haven't played it yet, it is a sandbox crafting space exploration game. It's the best way to describe that. Um, but today, besides going into what this game is all about and kind of what the objective is we're gonna talk about maybe a couple tips and tricks. So this is obviously late game kind of setup here. Um, but we're going to walk over to where I charge my vehicles if I'm not using them and if they're not self-sustaining, and talk about our charging station. So this is my charging station for vehicles. Normally when we first make things, we're just going to have the tractor. So tractors are really useful early game. Walking around is too difficult as far as speed goes, and you really can't carry a whole lot. So it's really limits you on what you can do. Now our tractor here, so this is an item we're going to craft. Obviously we have it crafted already. I'm going to show you here. So it's 2 aluminum. Aluminum super easy. Obviously can be found on our first planet, Silva. So that is extremely helpful. The next thing is a trailer. So you see these behind here. That's 1 aluminum, 1 compound. You'll probably see that within the first 100 feet of your base. So that is this material here. But aluminum, you have to smelt that and craft that, which that's also very easy, very simple to do as well. But we're going to talk about just our setup here. So this is my early game rover setup. So we just have our tractor to pull. We've got a double slot, 2 slot here in the front, so you can put on any items to research, or if you find a medium wind turbine or medium solar panel, you can throw that on there and bring it back to your base to use later. That is the reason that I use the last trailer as an empty 2-slot trailer instead of filling it with one of these medium storage panels, is so if I do find a second one, I can also carry that back as well. Now the reason I put these on here is so that I can carry resources back, and I can carry a lot more. So our backpack has 8 slots. These have 8 slots. Basically, it's a extra backpack. So I just throw those on. You press on the keyboard, it's F to collapse. I'm not sure what it is on console, but that way it's just easier to kind of see as I'm driving what I have, and just easier to pull off anyway. The second thing I want to talk about is before, you know, you're going and you're exploring, you won't really have anything to charge this with. So you're gonna have four units of power on here. This does not draw a whole lot of power on its own anyway. The trailers don't have extra battery supply either, so it is just your main tractor that supplies the power. So I usually put a charging station up here. This is a splitter. You probably won't have this. I'm gonna set this over here. You can always just make one of these. This is just 1 resin to make this, but that way you could charge this, and your buddy that's playing with you can charge their tractor, and the other one can charge their tractor. So if you want, that's also an easy thing to do, and you can always throw on a wind turbine there as well to help with the charging too. So just be aware of that. So this is our early tractor setup. Now when you do go out, you will pretty much always be finding battery packs, small wind turbines, sometimes medium, and small solar panels. I normally always throw that on one of these. That way I don't have to come back to base as much. I don't have to wait here to let it charge. It's always charging. There's a beacon on here that obviously doesn't help for charging or anything or power output, but it is in case I jump off my rover and go explore, then I can find it again, because there have been moments where I kind of get lost and I get super lucky and can find my base again because I have these beacons. See one, cloud's kind of in the way, but there's one way up there because this ramp actually goes up to there. Because you'll notice once you get pretty far, this shelter base here is kind of hard to see because it only raises up so far. It gets taller as you come out, you know, and get farther away, but it only gets so tall. But that is very tall for the sole purpose of when I'm super far away, I can find myself again. So it's super important to have, you know, a self-sustaining rover, but if you don't, and you have multiple friends with you, this is extremely helpful setup to just charge it real quick while you're depositing resources, hopping back on to your tractor, and going. So that's super helpful. This is obviously a large rover setup. It's not totally kitted out right now or set up right now, but as you can see, I have my self-sustaining panel of solar and batteries right there. But this is kind of how I have it set up here. So we have a main power coming from the base, and it's coming down this line, and I just build under here just in case I gotta move something. It's just easy to work under, so I just dig a hole, cover it back up, build a ramp that comes down here, and voila. So it's just extenders that go up there. You'll also find a lot of extenders out and about, and mine's kind of far away from the base, so I did have to use quite a few extra to get to this edge of my base. But that's all it really is. It's just extenders that go through here and underground and then pop up in the middle. That way I'm not running them over, or they're not in the way, or and I also like it to look clean, so that's why it's underground and coming back up through this hole here. So that's just a super basic setup you guys can use. So if you are ever running around getting all your resources and stuff, you can always just swing back around and you park your truck here, your trailer or tractor, grab this plug it in, and then you can just start taking your resources off and putting them where they go, throwing this back on, and you're ready to go again. So helps you out while you're busy doing other things to charge it. That way you're not having to wait or to unload everything and then charge it, and you can hurry up and go. Hope you enjoyed this video. This is one of many for tips for early game. I'll hopefully have some tips mid game and end game here, but I just think this will be helpful for people that aren't totally sure what to do with their tractor setups, or how to get around on Silva here early game. That way they can start getting as many resources and farming as many resources as fast and efficiently as they possibly can. If you want to check me out on Twitch, I stream a few nights a week on Twitch. I also post almost daily on Instagram and Twitter. You can check that out as well. It's just RiverDairchi. My Twitter is RiverDairchi_, and my YouTube is also just RiverDairchi. So go ahead and like and subscribe if you like this video. If you want to see more tips and tricks in the future, as well as other video games, please comment on other games you'd like me to help you out with if I've played them before. If I haven't, I am more than willing to go ahead and try those out, so I can see if I can find anything else that might be new or not thought about yet. Have a good day, and thanks for coming in.